Hey guys, in this video you're going to be learning about the poker success formula. Now this was something I got from a book called Psycho-Cybernetics, when the author talks about building a strong self-image for yourself, and then from there success stems from that. So this video is going to show you how to create a better self-image in order to have more success in poker and in life. If you're new to my channel, my name is Adam Carmichael. I'm a mindset performance coach who helps poker players to reach that next level of performance. With that being said, let's get started with today's video. So I'm going to take you through an acronym for success today and how that applies to upgrading yourself. And basically this is about thinking about your personality, thinking about who you need to be in order to be successful. What traits, what characteristics do you always need to have in order to be successful in poker? This is going to be the success formula. I think the author of Psycho-Cybernetics calls this the success trait personality, but I'm going to call this the success formula today. So the first one is S, and S stands for a sense of direction, okay? Sense of direction. We need very clear where we are going, what the goals are we're aiming for, and more importantly, why do they matter? A sense of direction, not just like the end destination, but why. It's knowing your what, your how, and your why, and getting real clear on where you're going. If you don't have this, you can't get started. A lot of players, a lot of people in life don't get clear on their objectives. What do you want and why do you want it? It's going to be very exciting for you. It's going to be very specific. It's going to be something that's worth sacrificing for. It's going to be something that's worth trading your time, energy, resources in order to get. So always start with sense of direction, clear goals, specific for you, and why you want them, why they're important to you. Once you've got that, the next thing you want to upgrade is your understanding. So this is all about getting to know yourself better and basically owning up to your own flaws. Knowing what your weaknesses are, knowing what your blind spots are, not letting your ego get in the way. And what Ray Dalio, who author of the book called Principles, he always says, search for what's true. Always search for a sense of what is true. And that's what this is, understand. It's not being blindsided, it's not being biased, it's going, you know what, I want to understand what's true. So for that, you've got to own your own faults. You've got to go, okay, these are what I'm not good at, and these is what the things I need to be doing to improve. So understanding of yourself and understanding of your situation. For poker players, understanding how good your opponents are relative to how good you think they are, understanding what their weaknesses are, but also yourself. Where are you weak? Where have you got flaws in your game? Understand that. And then the third thing is courage. You have the courage to step into the unknown. All right. So the way I like to look at courage, it's feel the fear and do it anyway. Feel the fear and still do it, still take action. And it's also, courage is betting on yourself. It's putting a bet on yourself. So as a poker player, you guys have done a video on this before, talking about the courageous poker player. You guys are courageous. You are betting on yourself. You're going into a player pool with other competitive players and you're like, you know what, I bet on me to come out on top. Courageous. Feel the fear, stepping into it, and yeah, find ways to be more courageous. Courage is one of those things that it strengthens the more you use it. If you have been courageous when you were younger, but then you have 5 years of doing nothing that requires courage, that almost like the muscle gets weaker. So you've got to always be stepping into the unknown, find out where your fears are, stepping into them, and that's where courage builds. Once you've got courage done, next one is compassion. Okay, this is the interesting one. Now compassion, you can think of it 2 ways. One, compassion for others and understanding of other people. So understand that other people are different. But also compassion, the way I look at it is, first, start with yourself. Learn to accept yourself. Learn to like yourself. If you are judgmental, let's say you're a poker player and you're judging other poker players, he's an idiot. He's stupid. He makes mistakes. You judge yourself the same way. The way you see others is the way you secretly see yourself. Okay, so when you have compassion, if you have compassion for yourself, you will have compassion for others. If you see yourself having a lack of compassion for other people, you have a lack of compassion for yourself. And that's bad, right? Because we need to be our own biggest fan. We need to be able to cheer ourselves on. No one else is going to cheer you on. No one else is going to push you for victory. You've got to be betting on yourself, and you've got to have compassion for who you are. And yeah, all your flaws, all your mistakes, everything, you've got to learn to accept that. So pay attention if you're judging other people, if you're someone who criticizes people, if you're someone who shoots other people down, look internally. That's a good indication that you need to improve your compassion and start with yourself. If you have compassion for yourself, you have compassion for others. E stands for esteem. So So esteem, this is basically just meaning that you have a positive self-image. You think of yourself highly. A lot of people have low esteem, right? Low esteem is meaning that they have a negative image of themselves. If I could go into a lot of people's heads, you'd see a lot of negative talk, beating themselves down. I'm an idiot. Why did I do that for? And basically negative self-talk. And like attracts like, okay? So if we've got a negative self-image or low self-esteem, we attract lower equity scenarios. If we've got a high self-esteem, we've got a high opinion of ourselves, we bet on ourselves with our courage, we put ourselves into situations where we can excel, and what do you know? We often do. So building that esteem is so, so important. Once you build esteem up, next one is self-confidence. Now this is similar to esteem, but different, and the reason it's different is self-confidence comes from having small successes. It's like success breeds success. So when you have more wins, you build confidence through taking action and getting rewarded for taking action. So people often ask me, Adam, how do I build confidence? And the answer is always take action. You build confidence by doing. You build confidence by having success, by taking steps forward. So the way to do this one, the way to make sure you're building your self-confidence is to start every single day with some small wins. So it's been shown like if you make your bed, you're something like 40% more productive or something crazy high. And the reason for that, like anomaly number, is because if you make your bed first thing of the day, it's a small win. If you have a small win, momentum starts to build and you go from that small win to wanting to do something else. What's the next productive thing on my list? So it doesn't have to be make the bed, but it's a good place to start. It could be meditating, it could be reading, but do something proactive and build up some small wins. I've got some players who I work with who are super ambitious, and one of their biggest faults is they're too hard on themselves and they don't chalk up small wins. So every time you're doing something, just tick it off. Just go, yes, well done for doing that. So there's a guy called Tom Bilyeu, who I'm a big fan of, who's got a podcast called Impact Theory. And one of the things he does every day is he gives himself a pat on the back, just a small one, for doing little things. So his alarm goes out at 5 in the morning, and he gets up and he goes, well done, Tom, you got up at 5 o'clock. Nice one. Then he does his meditation. He finishes meditation. Yes, well done, you meditated. Then he'll go and have a cold shower without hesitating. And going, yes, you're a badass. You had a cold shower. Other people wouldn't do it. So before you know it, you're like an hour into your day and you've chalked up 10 small wins. This builds your confidence. When you're confident, what happens? You want to take on challenges. You're ready to take on challenges. So be aware of that. It's not like this monumental thing. Self-confidence is done by small little wins done consistently. That will build up that self-confidence. And the final one is self-acceptance. Accept yourself. Accept yourself for who you are. As a poker player, this is an interesting one because a lot of players don't accept making mistakes. They don't accept that they're imperfect. They don't accept that some players are better than them, or they're not as good as other people, or not as good as they want to be. And you've got to accept yourself. You've got to learn to go, you know what? I'm never going to be perfect. I'm never going to know all the answers. I'm never going to not be able to make mistakes. I need to accept myself. I need to own that. I need to accept everything rather than wishing that things were a million times better. So it's closely linked to understanding. Understanding is more like know everything, like be very like truth driven, where acceptance is like, you know what? I accept it. I accept everything. And you stop trying to force things. You stop trying to change things that can't be changed. And it allows you to focus on the controllable variables, and the uncontrollable ones, you can kind of move them one side. So yeah, really, really big. I really enjoyed like going through like this myself when I read the book, and I thought you guys will get a lot of value from it. So just to recap, sense of direction. So this is for a whole personality upgrade. This is for a higher self-image, which will lead you to have more success in poker. So the first one, sense of direction, clear goals, know what you want and why you want it. Understanding, know about yourself, understand what your flaws are, what your weaknesses are. Don't let your ego blindside you. Always search for what's true. Courage, bet on yourself, feel the fear, do it anyway. Step into the unknown. Compassion, learn to look at yourself through compassionate eyes and don't judge yourself, because if you judge yourself, you'll judge others, and if you judge others, you'll judge yourself, and it creates a toxic environment. Esteem, make sure you're thinking of yourself positively. You've got a good image of yourself. You think of yourself as somebody who's a high-level person rather than someone negative. Have self-confidence through small wins. Chalk up wins every single day. Chalk them up, and that'll build that confidence. If you win the small battles, you start to win the little ones. And self-acceptance. Accept that you'll never be perfect. You're always going to make mistakes. No matter what happens, you're always in this state of growing and improving, and you've got to accept that that's part of life. Everyone's on this journey, and you're gonna be imperfect, but always in process. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you smash that like button before you go. And also, there's a free quiz in the description that you can do, which will tell you what level your poker mindset is right now and tell you how to take it from where it is to that next level. You'll find it very useful. Free. Click on the description to do that. And there'll be plenty more coming from me very soon.